Alright. Always looks better after I do that. So, how's everybody doing today? We having a good day? I'm having a good day. I've been working on art all day long. Been working on some stuff for the Amazon Research Center, and we're doing a coloring book for the kids. Think of the kids. We've been doing. Dr. Mazeral's wife and I have been working correspondence on a coloring book full of activities and kind of just working in the mythical history and it's kind of like a religious undertone that is throughout the region of they kind of have a creation myth. Like you might know that a lot of Native Americans use like raven or coyote or things like that, or Aborigines have the whole dream time myth thing. Well, this is using their creation stories and that are prevalent in a lot of the tribal cultures and ethnic groups, or linguistic groups, I should say, and it's playing off that and then basically bringing it into the modern day with a girl who's like a princess and divine, and then she is essentially coming back after the forest's been sleeping, and the people were told to take care of the forest according to their creation myth, and they're like letting down their end of the bargain, and so it's kind of like fixing up the forest, stopping the poaching, the littering, all that kind of stuff, while also trying to get them a little interested in like, can you name this fish? Can you? And then there'll be a game of tic-tac-toe, and then there's a story. So we're illustrating it, but we're trying to get it to print. And she finalized the Spanish version, so there'll be an English and a Spanish, which is cool. And so we just kind of got it finished, finalized as far as the story and all that. So the last 2 or 3 days, I've been working every spare moment I have, which has been really, I enjoy that kind of work, especially when it's for something useful. So I'll definitely be showing you guys some of those pages and stuff another time, as long as they're cool with it, which I'm sure they will be. But how's everybody doing? Who's in here? Let's see here. We've got Dr. Anthony. He's down there in the Amazon. The Amazon. And then we've got, hey, Rebecca, what's up? Freshwater Ichthyology. Asia Llewellyn. Evan Nolan, what's up? Stephanie D. Jeff Kane. And Mick. Nola Dolls. Jamie A. Mark. Regina. Davo, I need a dab. Joel Ramos, hello from Santa Barbara. Hello from Seattle. Aaron, what's up, buddy? How's it going, man? Good to see you. Xanadu, Rusty Braids, Alyssa, good to see you as always. I mean, it's good to see all of you, but I like to give a little shout out extra to the folks who live within arm reach. Screaming Fly, hello. Adam Shook, and Hoved. Aquatics, what's up? Is that a Jay-Z reference? I'm curious. Or Hoover Dam, or what? And then, yeah, so what do you guys want to do tonight? What do you guys want to talk about? You guys want to look at my dirty tanks I've been neglecting because I've been working on an art project, or what? If you have questions, let's do the @ symbol. I know I've said this a million times. Let's do the @ symbol. And then it goes from me being like Ray Charles with finding these questions, Georgia, and then I can see them. It's like I can see the light when you put the @ symbol if you have a question. Fanaticals, what's up? Paul McCarthy, hello. And I really want to thank all of you. Just if for one, if it's not your thing, putting up with me, but for two, all of you guys who have contributed to the ornamental fish research center project that we're doing, the fundraising for this whole month. Holy cow, we met our goal already. And I mean, I really want to thank whoever it was that was like, oh, you guys look like you're halfway there. Boom, the rest of the way there. Whoever gave 500, you know who you are. But thank you. And to the others who donated, I want to thank you just as much, if not more. I mean, I don't mean to say more. I'm not unappreciative of the 500, but I really wanted this to hopefully be a lot of people giving a buck, and because that's such a powerful way to do things. If we all gave a buck about stuff we cared about that actually has something, someone doing something to change it, or there's a product that prevents something from being exploited, when you just use that difference of a buck, $2, $5, whatever it ends up being, it's amazing the impact you can have. And I just wanted to highlight like what an amazing community we have here. We've raised money for people in the community, for other fundraisers, for events, as the fish family, like like crazy. I mean, I don't know any other internet community, honestly, when I think about it, that has done that. That's this size and this specific. You know, there's groups that are all subscribers of some creator on YouTube and they raise millions of dollars. That happens, obviously. But the fact that it's kind of a disjointed group of different niches within the hobby, different channels, and yet we still organize these things is really inspiring to see. And the cool thing is with this one, I've told you guys about nonprofits, about charities, about things where you can put your money. And as you guys probably know in the past, I always donate my funds from my merch from Teespring. I always give that over to a charity or a person in need. You know, if we're raising money for someone with medical bills or whatever it may be. Um, but uh, the Amazon Research Center for Ornamental Fish, that Dr. Anthony runs, I've actually donated the T-shirt proceeds from the whole winter. They went there, but I'm always looking for cool nonprofits and things. And honestly, he has one of them that just doesn't have the overhead of paying some person on payroll 200 grand a year to be the CFO, and then 300K to be the CEO, or like Susan G. Komen, Race for the Cure, like turned out that was it 80% of the money went to the bureaucracy and advertising, and 20% went to cancer research. Like things like that are always a bummer. Whereas Dr. Anthony and his wife have literally like foregone. They could have retired earlier, or they could have bought cars or whatever that you could want, but instead they've put it towards that. And I really respect like their money's where their mouth is, their time's where their mouth is, and people volunteer down there. So there's this real a lot of work can get done with that, and that's why we set up the nonprofit. Ivan Mikolji and I, and Yelka and I, the Green Earth Alliance, and we'll hopefully be working with the Amazon Research Center when we have more professors and things in the network that are from Venezuela or Uruguay, or someone from whatever Papua New Guinea wants to come study the Amazon instead of their home area. Like any developing nations, it's amazing how much the U.S. or the euro or pound, whatever, Canadian dollar, how much money our money is to them. There's research goals that take hundreds of thousands of dollars in the U.S., and yet there are professors waiting for the funding, and they've got the grad students and just the same amount of heart and education that are in a lot of developing countries. So we do have a leg up on a lot of things at our universities and with our research teams and centers and technology. But there is something to be said for just needing to get people in the Amazon, in the into the forest and into the river and the waters, looking at the fish, hands-on, collecting in places that are under threat of destruction, cataloging the new species, describing the new species, writing the papers, which can be a bit laborious and not the most glamorous thing. So it's important work. And just like when Ivan and I we were moved about the story of in Venezuela, there was a collection of every species that had been known in the Orinoco basin for the last, I think it was since the 1860s, and they were in formaldehyde jars, and a lot of them had never been seen after being collected in the early like 1880s, 1890s, and the corks were drying out, and literally there was not funds for 25 cent to $1 corks, depending on the size of the jar. So they resealed and re-topped the jars, and it saved something like 4,000 specimens, and they would have all been destroyed, and it cost like $170. So there's projects like that we want to kind of surgically target, use the money on, and then also have total transparency where you guys can see the tax returns. Well, you can on any nonprofit, but where you guys can literally see like, oh, no one was getting paid for that other than the costs of the project. So I just wanted to give a shout out to that and to all of you who've supported that. If you want to support all of that, there is a link, and I don't have it handy. Maybe somebody could post it who's a mod, or if you want to be a mod, I can make you a mod. But there is a link for the team that we set up here for the YouTube side of things, for kind of, well, my YouTube and the Alex, Lucas, um, Kenny from Danikin and Danny, and there's a handful of folks who are on board who are YouTubers. It's not all of YouTube necessarily, but everyone is welcome to give to the organization at large or to give to that. So let's see here. Can I actually, will it let me enter that link? No. Okay, not in this app. Alright, so yes, freshwater ichthyology. Well, yeah, I mean those specimens were like 140 years old, so. But what I love is reading the old journals. I've read so many journals from ship's logs, from old naturalists, where they like pick up 40 sailors in Shanghai, or they're like, oh, we got 20 new lads from the town of, and it'll be like New York, in the 1600s or something. But it's funny to hear the places, and just like how people were just like chilling, and then they'd just be like, get on the ship, we're going for a year, and they'd hire them, and frequently, very frequently, all the specimens would end up ruined because the sailors would sneak down into the hole and drink whatever terrible concoction was like preserving the fish. I mean, sometimes it really was just like ethanol or ethyl alcohol, but sometimes it was like methyl alcohol, and they all went blind or died. Or formaldehyde, and it's basically like doing sherm or whatever. So, Naturalist, doing sherm since 1860. So how's everybody doing on this Friday? Are we all feeling good, doing good? Liquid Zoo, that I believe that is the link. Yes, thank you so much, Liquid Zoo. Let me pin that. Let me check if I can pin that. I really do not like green eggs and ham. No, I do not like the actual YouTube app. But Liquid Zoo, if I could pin it, I would, but apparently I can't. That is real frustrating. Well, I'll definitely add it in the end. And it's in the other video. There's the last video I posted. But it really gets at the core of what I want to do with my life, with the channel. Educate people for free, and keep folks updated on the newest news and academic research, but also delve back into the hobby and the history, and uncover some of the stories that we don't know yet. So, I want to jump back in on that. After I finish this illustration project, I got to go down to Eugene. So I'll be going down to Eugene to speak at the Willamette Valley Fish Club. And I've never been down to meet those folks or been to any of the fish stores that far south. So I'm excited about that. I'm excited to go meet all of y'all down there and giving a talk on the 10 moments that revolutionized fish history. I love giving that talk. And if you have a club and you want me to come out, I am always up for things like that. And yeah, I've got about 10 talks ready to go. I can always send over what they are. So yeah. Do, 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 do. 71 people and 31 likes. Hit that like button to show your support. Or go do something else with your time. If I'm not worth the like, leave. Uh, that place should be hopping. Yeah. Uh, Savage Fox Productions, thank you. Alec the Nice, good to see you. Discordia Creates, hello. I've gotten little to no sleep 4 nights in a row. My brain is not focusing at the moment. Uh, yeah, I know how that goes. I didn't sleep last night, and then I got about a 4-hour nap today. But I'll probably take another nap. My wife's going to the opening night of some play, and I'm probably gonna take a nap after this stream, or try to, and well, actually, confer about the coloring book for kids, and then take a nap, and then work on the coloring book again. And then tomorrow, I don't know what I have in store, but my wife was just like, she got home and she threw her purse on the counter and was like, I have to work tomorrow. So that's a bummer. But Thayer Expedition, Lacy Fins, yeah, there's a couple expeditions that are kind of interesting. Well, there's a lot that are interesting, but like another one is the in the 30s, the Germans from the biggest aquarium importer in the world, but in Europe and Germany at the time. That later, the folks that were involved with that later became Dots magazine. They, in the late 20s, early 30s, I don't remember what year the first one happened, but they bought like an ocean liner, like not quite Titanic size, but like a big ocean liner that used to do cross Atlantic journeys and steamliner, and they converted like a bunch of the deck space and a bunch of the rooms into an actual like traveling fish lab. And so they had actual air filtration and heat and people changing the water, and they brought like hundreds of thousands of fresh gallons of water in the bilge, like on purpose for the fish alone. Like, so the boat was like all loaded down and sketchy when they left. But then they just parked it off the coast of, I think at the time it was Côte d'Ivoire, which was French. And they were off there in Liberia, I want to say. But then they collected like all these killifish that had never been seen before, and a bunch of other African fish. So yeah, Angie McGee, hello. Street Trash, what's up? Happy Friday. That's right. The WAP Genius, what's up? Well, thank you. I appreciate it. Welcome to the live stream, but I appreciate it. And if you got a beverage, let's do a cheers. Let's do a little sip and a drink. So the other night, I did a stream that I was really happy with. It was a live stream, and it was centered on, well, me being up late, but in hopes of getting you European and Australian folks at a time that was reasonable. A little bit more fun, like early morning on the weekends for folks who might be up, or people who just normally can't get in at that time, or people who work the graveyard or whatever in the US. But we saw like 6 different species of my fish spawning like live that night on the channel. So that was really cool. And this tank ever since has just been rocking and a rolling. And like I said, I've been neglecting up my care of things a little bit. But that's why I love setting up tanks the way I like to set up tanks, is because you can let them go for a month, and as long as you're feeding them. all that happens is the water goes a little bit lower, and you know the nitrates don't even go up if you got enough plants and good light. And yeah, but um, I wanted to show you guys the incredible colors and behavior of some of these fish while we chatted. But if you have any questions, as always, just do the at secret history living in your aquarium, or at Alex even, and I can usually find it. Um, and also, I wanted to say thanks to all the members of the channel too. Buck99 goes a long way, and I'm doing those fishery episodes. Hey, we got one of the ones that was spawning, the big female red tail loach. I missed one spot a month ago cleaning this tank, and it's like a perfect like razor blade width spot of algae. But these are the most beautiful gouramis I have ever gotten in my life. I got them at aquariums then, and they were listed as I saw them at the wet spot, and I know that they buy them from them. But on the wet spot site, they said that they had a new collection point, like that the hobby has been spawning sparkling gouramis for a long time, but that these ones were from a specific collection point. And it might be hard to see on the live stream. I took some pictures that I'll definitely post on the community page on Facebook or on the community tab on YouTube. But they've got bright yellow and orange fins that are really bright. And they're wild. These ones are wild. But I really want to spawn them. And I've had good luck in the past always spawning sparkling gouramis. But yeah, the other thing, we saw these loaches spawning, and here is the male. The really fun part about these loaches that is just fascinating, other than looking pretty cool, there's the female, way bigger. And her belly was huge, like it looked comical. It looked like a football was in there. But now it's down, so I know she laid her eggs. I think they're back right there, is where I think they ended up deciding to put them, because she's been guarding that spot. But the other little fish that I absolutely love in this tank are the rosy loaches. So the female rosy loach right here, like an inch long, and then the males, they'll turn anything from a champagne color all the way to like neon orange and yellow, even into like a red or crimson when they're spawning. They're just a really cool fish. Yeah, there's another sparkling gourami from this collection point group. So I'm really excited to have these. And I definitely got 2 females in this group, which is exciting too, because now I know I can spawn them. And yeah, so I'll probably actually put them into another tank and get them to spawn soon. But the way she's eating all the protein so quickly, because I just put Fluval bug bites in, normally the loaches, these ones don't care a ton. They kind of just munch and they're a little shy. But she's like obsessed with eating protein right now, and not algae wafers or spirulina or anything. So I think she's definitely recouping from having spawned. And also, look at the color on these gouramis. Man, they are just a beautiful fish. And I wish the colors, like, I don't know what the issue is, because the phone takes fine pictures. It's like YouTube, maybe just the internet. I don't know. They throttle the color, how vivid it is. But I mean, I can't get an oranger fish than this. Yet it looks washed out and kind of just rusty color, where it's really like a neon tangerine color when you look at it in real life. And there is the happy little female, and she's pooping. But there's the male, and then we've got the big male over here, who's the tank boss. And then these little rosy loaches, if you've never had them, they fight completely harmlessly, but they're really entertaining to watch. They just chase each other all over the freaking tank. And they change colors, like I said. Like, this one's kind of silver and laid back at the moment. Now he's got a female chasing him. But then the females, their bellies get really fat, and all of a sudden they'll pair up. That one back there has a fat belly, and she's with this male who is bright orange right now. And here they are. they're going at it, so they'll lay eggs, but they lay eggs like every few days, and they can bend at the I don't know what you'd call that, not a joint, but at their pectoral fins, and it looks so cool when they bend at the pectoral fin and just like sit on rocks or kind of sit like they're, I don't know. It looks like they're like a loach. Well, they are a loach, but I mean, it looks like they're like a I don't know, maybe it's a human characteristic that I'm thinking of, but I mean, look at these gouramis. The chemistry is like ideal for them. It is like it's like right out of a textbook, collection point for them, since this is a biotope. We've got all the right plants, and the water is hard or moderately hard with pretty neutral to slightly acidic pH. So it's kind of like one of those balancing acts. But again, the gouramis, the thick-lipped gouramis, this male in particular, he has his little area over here, and I wish this would come out just how beautifully purple and blue this is. But this is Colorado Bacopa, and the flowers on it I just absolutely love. Again, you can see more flowers going on back there. But they just appear one day, and the stem turns blood red on this variety, and the flowers come out of those leaves just like this. Like that will be a flower in a day or two. They're the weirdest little buds. They're like tricks. They're just two leaves that open up into a flower. It's not a bud. It's very interesting. Anyhow, so what do you guys want to see? What do you want to talk about? Oh wait, Adam has something to say. Alex, I was wondering if the coloring book will be available for purchase here or as another way to support. I have kids and I think it would be kind of cool. Yeah, I think it will be on their website. I think it will be available because we're doing an English version for sure. And I think we're going to do like maybe 200 prints of the English version at least to start with. So I would say almost for certain that will be a thing. Um, oh no, let's see here. Dr. Anthony says, terrible news here. Can't get the 7 big tanks at the aquarium to stop the pinhole leaks. Oh no, may have to build a new one. Oh man, that sucks. I'm sorry, Doc. Man, that is lame. 3G, Alex, what can cause angelfish fry to be missing their ventral fins? Well, are you talking just the long ones? Because those just develop over time. They, I mean, they start as long as they've got their pectoral fins. The other ones kind of come in longer. It depends on how young they are. If they're like 6 months old, then yeah, there's definitely something odd there. But there are varieties of angelfish, and I'm trying to think if any of one of my varieties that I have in here, I can show you, I think, the difference. But, you know, sometimes they have whisker thin ones like these, and these in these pearl scales, they actually sometimes will not have one. It's so thin, like it just doesn't grow in. Whereas these black moor angelfish have a lot more substantial ones coming in. And with this line, it's nice because the little hook on it, or the I don't know, the little the notch on it lets me know that they're female in that line, which is handy. It's not always the case. Also, just I've been enjoying the pencilfish to no end. I forgot about them and how they sit at that weird angle so often. It's very fun, but I mean, I've been trying to notice the angle that most plants tend to grow at, and between the plants being at that angle and their leaves also being at the angle, there's about a 20 to 30 degree angle, I would say, that seems to be very common in those plants, as they're reaching up for the light and all that. And I think that's what they do it for. I mean, even just like sticks that are broken in the river, they're going to have that angle um, very frequently. It's one of those, you know, Fibonacci type things where like it just has to evolve that way because it's practical. Um, let's see here. Alex, I asked a group a shrimp question with pics. Okay, I'll have to check it out. Um, I will think good thoughts for you, Dr. Anthony. I'm wondering, huh. So I'm assuming you're using a silicone seal on all that. But I mean, is there anything you can, if it's a big enough tank, sometimes you can put like a patch of some sort of, uh, mylar or something in a strip right up against the glass, and then the weight of the water will help hold it on there. Not a good way to do things long term, but I've just gotten things to stop leaking short term that way. George, thank you so much. I'm excited to see you there too. I need to buy my train ticket. I'd been waiting to see if gas was going to be cheaper or the train or like what the situation was going to be. And definitely the train is going to be way cheaper than me driving my pickup truck down there. So this tank, it's what's interesting about what's going on in this tank right now is I have zero nitrates in here. It's been zero nitrates for quite some time, zero ammonia, zero nitrites, and it's because this tank generally just processes because of all the growth, it processes everything right away. Well, now I'm noticing that with the red root floaters, they're starting to break down, and I think there must be ammonia just in the water around them and organic, just dissolved organics. But what's kind of cool is that with this mat that is really resembling something organic or wild looking, and all the immersed growth starting to happen. I mean, look at this wisteria. It's look how different it is compared to underwater. The plant looks like parsley or something, or arugula, and then out of water, it's big old broad leaves. I always find that fascinating what plants look like. Yet bulbitis looks identically the same. But I'm gonna start to get spores on here, and so I'm gonna try to start collecting the spores when it does start giving me spores. But we've got a bunch of Ludwigia coming up. But anyways, what I was gonna say is that in these little areas in between the floating stuff where the light's just crazy intense, and this is that twin star light that I bought to see how good it was, is a flowering light, and I got a deal where I bought two of them, and I wanted it for the scape we were just looking at in the other room. Same exact light on both tanks, only the other one's only a 22-gallon tank, and this is a 50-gallon tank that's 2 feet deep almost. So this one at the top, though, with about, I'd say there's 8 inches right now between the water level and the light. But it is just cooking away. I mean, everything under the light, like what do you call it? Aponigeton crispus is just crazy red, blood red. I mean, man, it looks so washed out depending on what I do. There, that's pretty accurate. It's like a purple. It's so red at the top, and then lower down, it's much more of like a burgundy red. But yeah, that's an interesting one under this light. And the Christmas moss is doing a new thing. Peacock moss is also like they're all doing this new stuff with the highlight. That's just Java moss down there. But they're all kind of acting very different when you get that highlight, zero nitrates. And the thing is that the organics are building up in here slightly because of how this mat, and it's like one chunk now. It's all fused together, and there's stone about 3 inches lower. So it's all anchoring off of that. And these are rotting, and I know I need to take them out. But the amazing thing that's going on is it's creating dense pockets. You can even see the infusoria on the camera. Like it looks like powder in the water. So under the microscope, that's all parameciums, and they're hanging out right by the debris in this tank. And now I'm just kind of waiting to see what babies will be born due to that, because there's so many spots back here and under down low and hidden where they probably will end up spawning. Also, this is still interesting me if you've been watching the last few weeks. And also the Mayaka Red Fire and the normal Mayaka. It's interesting to see the difference. What's it called? Nicea trifloria or trifloria. This is another plant that is extremely slow growing and boring in like this tank over here. Like, see if we've even got any that you can see in this mess of a jungle tank. Wow. I don't know if there is even a spot where it's recognizable. It's very anemic looking over in this tank, without that high light. There's some under there, but it looks just pretty boring. So in high light, though, it's a beautiful plant. I mean, it's got like pinks and oranges, and then the stem's starting to have these little hairs on it. And it's starting to actually look a little variegated. Like you can actually see like a pink dust all over the main leaves. Kind of cool. Even the pencilfish love this infusoria floating in the tank right now. They've got little teeny mouths. In fact, that's what their name means. And they love it. So let's sit back and watch this for a minute. Let me catch up on your questions. Alex, what moss do you recommend for the transition in and out of water? Java moss is pretty easy. You do need a fair amount of humidity. Christmas moss is very easy, in my experience. Christmas and peacock moss are my two favorites for that. ABC Biotopes, hello. Bunny Viper, what's going on? Good to see you. Danikin, Kenny, always good to see you. Nano Aquarium guy, always good to see you as well. Bipolar Aquatics, Scouscaper, what's up? Thanks, man. Let's see here. I'm just here to chill. Hilarious that I got a betta fish next day after last live I caught. Right on. Kenny, you're down for some coloring books. Well, thank you so much, Kenny. I appreciate the support, buddy. Yes. Yeah. Dr. Anthony says ventricle fins missing, bacterial bloom, infections from tank. That's interesting. I mean, I've seen, just genetics cause them to be missing them, even in good quality tank water. But is that kind of like the Corydora barbels, where it's kind of a chicken or the egg thing? Like, were they scraping because they had a bacterial infection, or did they get a bacterial infection because they were scraping? Let's see here. I picked up 10 new super red pencil. Oh, what? Dr. Anthony, that's not fair. That is not fair. And I expect at least half of all of those pencil fish. This is a public service announcement. Please peer pressure, or twist his arm, Dr. Anthony, into giving me those pure red nanostomas. Thank you. That is the end of the message. All right. So, Mick says, macrostoma bettas last weekend spawned today. Now the male is mouth brooding. Nice. Just make sure to not let them spawn right away, like right afterwards again, because the males will starve themselves. Although I shouldn't say crap about them. I've failed keeping those fish. I've kept them for 9 months one time and 6 months another time, and both times the fish died like right at the same time, both fish died. First time from jumping out, and this most recent time, one jumped into another tank and got mauled by my jewel cichlids, and what else? I guess the other one just disappeared. We don't know what happened to it, but probably the same fate, because they literally disappeared as Alyssa was gonna pick them up. We had one left, and it just, or I mean, I had all of them, but literally when she got there was only one left. I love these Venezuelan cories. When they stay in a very densely planted tank, they'll still spawn, and it'll be lower numbers of spawn, of babies, but like they keep their color very, very intense when they stay small. I'll try to catch. Let's see if there's some more somewhere else in here that we can see better. But they have very intense colors. Also, I need to get a male pearl scale. She's ready to lay eggs again. They laid eggs. This one laid eggs last week, or not even last week, like 3 or 4 days ago, on the heater over here. This Higer heater is like a magnet for angelfish eggs and cory eggs. They all want to lay eggs on this heater. It's got such a big area. It's the 300-watt one, and it goes down to 10 watts ambient mode when it's not actually heating, apparently. I was talking to the one of the research and develop guys over in China on Google Translate, trying to learn about like if anything was different about this heater. And yeah, he had a bunch of arowanas that died when he was spawning them out and like growing them out, and so he got real upset, and that's when he went to the company and was like, I want to fix all the heaters so that they can't overheat. So I guess there's a couple different new stop loss features. I don't know what to call them, like fail-safe features would be the right term, I guess, that are supposedly in the new heaters that the Higer company is making. But boy, do I love these orange. And people don't talk about the blue enough, but when you get a good wild strain of these guys, they have such a beautiful blue. You need to keep anthocyanins in the diet. A lot of those color enhancing foods only have carotenoids, omega-3 and omega-6 fatty acids, which are great. You need those for the reds, like for the really red tails like this blood fin has, or for to develop the red spot speckling on these tiger blood pearl scales. You definitely need that, but you need the anthocyanins to really get, all the rich reds, and to get, if you want your red root floaters to go from red to more like a purple or chocolate bar kind of color, anthocyanins again. And then the crazy thing about anthocyanins are that no matter if they're in an animal or if that's what's also making this so colorful. It's not a carotenoid pigment, it's an anthocyanin pigment mutation. But the pH with anthocyanins, which is what's are in blueberries, determines the color. So if the pH is neutral, you end up with purple. If it's acidic, you end up with blood red or bright red, and then as it gets more acidic, it turns into an orange. Then if you go into the alkali space, it goes from purple neutral into alkali blue. And that is most pigmentation that's not iridophores reflecting just a certain angle. Most blue pigmentation in the wild, blueberries, the blue in macaw, parrot feathers, they're from the anthocyanins that are in things. And they just don't put a ton of them in fish food like they do the other things. There are a few fish foods out there, I think, that are making efforts on it, but it could be that it breaks down over time too. That may very well be, but it's just something interesting. And having those, and having plants that are rich in those, such as blueberries, but such as Let me think of a few that are strong in them. Hygrophila coriambosa, Bucephalandra, a lot of Aponegitans in their bulb, and also tiger lilies or dwarf lilies. Those are all great choices because when they rot and break down, if you're not taking it out of the system, the anthocyanins get eaten by the shrimp and by the bacteria and the fungi. You know, everything absorbs at a certain level. I guess I shouldn't say that. I haven't read any studies saying that the anthocyanins get eaten by the actual bacteria, but it gets into the food chain nevertheless, and then works its way up into the larger creatures, including fish and shrimp. So I'm assuming that since the shrimp aren't eating the plants, they're eating some sort of microorganism that's able to fix it and hold on to it because they need that, or like cobalt, or there's only a few things in nature that are going to give you that beautiful blue color. And in fact, like in medieval times, humans, to have that pigment in their paint, would pay ridiculous sums to have azure blue. And it came out of Azerbaijan and also Afghanistan. Those were the only two places where they knew to get the stone to grind up into the pigment for azure blue, or that deep blue color. All right, catch back up on questions. Alex, the pearl scale, dime size, and have a few none, and have a few. Oh wait, a few have none, and a few have one. Interesting. Hey, welcome, Misfits and Reptiles and Aquatics. Thanks. I think you've been a supporter and a member of the channel for quite some time, but maybe new credit card, maybe you took a break. I don't know, but thank you so much for re-pledging. Really appreciate it. Helps out a lot. The summer months, a lot of YouTubers will be very modest. Some will beg constantly, but a lot will be modest and say, oh, I'm doing all right or whatever. But the summer months, a third to even a half, sometimes 50% of your income just disappears on YouTube. So it's always nice. The super chats and things really do counter that, and the memberships. So I appreciate that, and I'm just throwing out there that for anybody who wants to support any channel, even if it's not fish related or whatever. Mad Cat, hello, welcome. Let's see here. What else? Am I real behind now? We'll find out in a minute. Do 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 do. Alex's reading face. You had an 11-year-old angelfish, Richard Bunt? Man, that's crazy. I've got a 6 or 7-year-old that I thought was impressive. Yeah. Grant, what's up? Garden of Eater. That's my new go-to for shrimp. I mean, for a long time it was Lucas, and I don't get me wrong, still like Lucas and LRB Aquatics, but I know he's moving and getting settled in, and there's another guy right down the road named Grant Eater, who has a company called Garden of Eater Shrimp. If you use the code SECRET10, you'll get 10% off of his shrimp. Oh, guys, exciting news! So my longfin rasboras, these are the Somfongzi or the Somfong rasbora. They are spawning again. So let me try not to scare them, and let me move these rocker switch cords. But this was happening at 4 in the morning the other day, and then they hadn't done it since the last week. But now, see this guy? This stupid cord. Alright, we're going to have to deal with the cord. But there's a long-finned one right in here. And long-fin rasboras are not a thing in the hobby whatsoever. There are long-fin tetras, which are extremely hard to find. but there are no longfin rasboras in the American hobby for sure, and I can't find them in the German hobby. If you guys know of any like longfin chili rasboras with like big veil tails or something, up here are the chili rasboras. But and then we've got some axelrodi, sundadanios right here, which are actually a rasbora, but Sundadanio is the name of the land, the island that they're from in the Javanese island grouping there in Indonesia. And then we've got some Phoenix rasboras and some chili rasboras and some green pencil fish. But my favorite of and we've got some uh, amber barbs from Africa that are one of the smaller fish in Africa. These guys are about half an inch to 3/4 of an inch full grown. They're my smallest species, I would say by far. Like these are probably 2-year old fish now. I got some of these before I moved into this new house, and they're still teeny golden little fishies. But the let me resituate so I'm at an oblique angle so they don't get as scared. But we've got these Somthong rasboras, which were completely extinct in the wild from the 70s, well, till now. And they were found originally in rivers, two collection rivers and creeks that were basically straddling Bangkok. And they literally ran through the city. So by the 70s, they were extinct. Now, see, these ones, they're spawning right now. These three, there's 2 females and a male. And the males, see, he's flashing and shaking. He's the one up top. And then that is a female. She's got longer, see, her belly's a lot bigger. And there's the other male, actually. It's 2 males, never mind. But he's the long fin one. And he's trying to shake and show her. Look at those fins on him. It's just a random mutation that I happened to luck out and get. And when I saw it, I was like, I need those ones. That one right there. And they're like, okay, whatever, you know. And then when he got it in the bag, he was like, oh my gosh, I've never seen this. And Steve Waldron, who's been selling fish for 20 years, actually more than that, his whole life since he was 15, he's been working at fish stores and stuff, but off and on. But he also was like, I've never seen a longfin rasbora like that. And now, right now, they're spawning. So I need to get them either in their own setup or actually, like I was saying the other night, I think I will just catch everybody out of here and just move them into another setup. Because this tank is well seasoned for any sort of little babies that may come along. If anything, there are too many snails in here. But they're all like dwarf snails. I've started trying something new with the tanks, which is when I'm letting my non-filtered or natural style tanks go, and either they're trying to grow immersed or the duckweed or water lettuce and stuff gets too thick, it starts to build up, and then some gets blocked out from light, and then it melts like this, and then the snails will eat the dying tissue, and you can tell it's the snails because they leave their little curlicues. But because of that, it ups the organics in the water, the dissolved organics, and that can cause algae and stuff like that. But it's great for baby fish. They love that as long as the ammonia and the nitrites and nitrates aren't rising, which the biofiltration in this tank and the sponge filter, I mean, between the two, it's fine. These little fish hardly create any waste. The only thing these snails are from is overfeeding, if anything. So yeah. But the rasbora is spawning. I mean, that's the only one I know of. If anybody knows of anyone else with longfin rasboras, I mean, let me know. And I would be pretty impressed because I've been hunting. I mean, I've just loved rasboras for years, and I've been hunting any info on it for quite some time. Other than other than chili rasboras, which there are a few folks who've had one or two with the long fins. Nobody seems to have gotten them into a line. So what's interesting is that this Sundadanio is actually, and the Somfong rasboras are a trigonostigma. They are they're a different branch than like the Phoenix or the exclamation point or any of the other ones that are in here right now. But they were named after Axelrod Herbert the pervert. No, Herbert Asshole Rod, as a lot of people call him. Nobody seems to like the dude in retrospect or during his real life. So yeah. But I'm just really excited that out of all the fish in here, the ones that are deciding to spawn are these ones. Are the actual Somfong rasboras and the one with the weird long fin mutation. Somebody actually offered me $300 for this fish already, and I said no. If you see it, it's not just long fin, it's also like a veil tail. Like it's the high fin. I'm trying to get them in focus, but they're really hiding back there. And they stop dancing. They really do kind of a beautiful little mating ritual dance, where you see they try to catch the light, whatever angle the light's coming from. They know, like, to position their body so that their iridophore cells and tissue actually catch that light, and they look everything from copper to blue to yellow to gold. It's really interesting. But this female, she's got a bunch of eggs in her for that. It's hard to tell with this species, but she's very gravid or egg laden for a rasbora, for a micro rasbora like these. Hard to, man, I wish they'd come forward. But yeah, Alan Carter, welcome. Come on in, and come on down and have some fun. Mountaintop Puffer Keeper, hello. But the other really amazing thing, oh, look at the color on the green pencilfish when they come in. They're like foam green and turquoise. It's like seafoam green. And then they're back to like silver. Like they look so what's the word? You just overlook them easily, I guess. I can't think of the word. Inconspicuous? Oh wait, did they just move forward? Are these the same group? Do we have the long fin? Mr. Longfin, show us your dance. Do 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 do. Oh wait, now he's all alone. All by himself. But yeah, this combo is a killer combo, just visually speaking. If you guys want to have nano fish, like very teeny nano fish, with some bang, some pow, the Phoenix or Chili Rasbora and the Sundadanio Axelrodi. Very, very cool fish. Very, very pretty fish. And the Somfong Rasbora are also a great blackwater species. I've kept them in blackwater before, and it's not necessary for these ones to have blackwater to spawn. There's Mr. Longfin showing off for the ladies. Do 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 do. So female on the right, Mr. Longfin, ladies man, fish on the left. I need your jeans. I need your jeans. But they do this kind of weird twitchy thing, like hey, 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 kind of like a dog that can't even stand it. It's so excited. And then they will do their little wiggle, kind of like a guppy does. But what it's also doing is it's saying, hey, look at me, I am a prime specimen and I am ready to have babies. Yeah, Discordia. Yeah, if you were here last time, you know what's up. It was hard to get a picture of him at night, but right now the sun's still up and it's shining through, so we can really see those fins. Granted, between the bandwidth throttling, like I am so annoyed. I spend $200 a month on my Comcast bill, my internet bill, to have the best internet service that they have here, and then I bought the booster. I bought a $500 set. Oh wait, is that an egg? Right? Oh no, it's duckweed. I was like, what is that he spit out, or she spit out? And it still will stream in like 720. It drives me nuts. Like I've done everything I can do internet connection wise, short of obviously if I had. There are certain cameras that can hook up to like an adapter that then hooks up to your internet like with a cord, like an Ethernet. That would be better, but I'm not doing that. But yeah, there's Mr. Longfin. And it's just funny. Look at this son to Daniel. He's just like, I'm just gonna try to pretend like I'm the same species, and they have a totally different spawning pattern. So that male Sundadanio, the little blue guy, here's another one up here with the light real close to him. You can see how bright they get. This is probably another little male. Um, they spawn by playing dead. Like the male will like jitter and shake and go all over, and then they'll float sideways looking dead. And yeah, you know what? You're probably right. That other guy, he's probably trying to eat the eggs coming out of her when they drop. You're right. That's probably what he is doing, hanging out with them in the back. Because they're like way in the back corner behind all the plants. I'm trying to get a shot of them for you guys. But I guess I could just focus on the easy to film ones. Of course, I say that, and then they all like hit the deck. We should also check if these guys always look like they're about to die of malnutrition, and they always look like this. Granted, they don't eat flake food, from what I've seen ever, and they do need live cultures or other like they can't even eat Daphnia. They're too small for that. Baby brine shrimp is a maybe on these ones, but like vinegar eels are like that's their joint. That's what they like. And then a chili rasbora for comparison. But I really like these little green pencil fish, little female one right here. They're real inquisitive, and apparently she wants to get whatever he's eating or steal it. But you know what's interesting about these snails in this tank is like I said, I have not given them enough food. So they've gotten stunted growth, and they all have this thing going on where the center of the spiral in their shell hasn't been able to grow because they're just not growing fast enough. And it leads to them, one, getting these weird plaques buildups, like it's like secondary shell calcification or something on a lot of them, and some of them are okay still. Like that's a pretty healthy little spiral, but you can see the extra thickness to the mouth of that shell there, where it opens up. The little bladder snails even too. And clearly they're not doing a good job eating the diatoms on surfaces either. So I don't know. I think they're slightly lazy. Like here's another one where you can really see the calcification and plaques layer on it. Yeah, that's all just like it even scrapes off with like a little instrument. If you want to be a jerk and scrape off calcium off the shells of your fish. These guys seem to be spawning today too, which is kind of fun. This is one of my little bell bottom Endler Guppy hybrid project guys. And he's in there showing off to the ladies. But I'm really hoping this guy crosses over. Because I love his dorsal fin. His dorsal fin is bomb diggity. And then the Epistos, no spawning activity lately. They'll probably need their own setup, I'm guessing. Because they all were fighting and acting like they were going to spawn, and then they just all of a sudden stopped. And they haven't really colored up that much lately either. Kimberly Holtz, hello. Bunny Viper, Alex, perhaps the pencilfish was interested in the snail's antenna. Yeah, could be. I mean, yeah, that definitely could be. Do we have a scud? We have a scud. Oh gosh, it's like the movie Aliens. Look at it. It's like, I don't, why is it like on its back or dead? What's going on here? Oh, it was getting out of its exoskeleton. Sorry, guys. Next episode of the Scud Hunter. So, let's get some of these shrimp to come forward. You know, these shrimp have been doing so well. Oh no, I think that's a that is, yeah, that's not just a shed, I don't think. That looks like an actual head of a shrimp. No. Let's inspect this. Yeah, that's the head of a little shrimp, of a baby. Well, not baby, but a young shrimp. That is a super bummer. Man, I wonder what got it or what killed it. There's its tail there. Part of its tail. Although it is split where they would usually split, but I think there's just too much tissue in this little... Yeah, that looks like the actual shrimp, rather. I wonder if it just had failure to leave its exoskeleton or what. But I think it was about this size. I think it was one of the newer steel ones that I got from Grant. And I'm sure it's my fault, like, because this is by far the best I've ever had any of the shrimp I've ever kept that are Caridina do. They've just historically not done well after about a 6th month spot. And so I kind of had given up. Hold on, let me grab something. The camera's gonna get shaky for a sec. Ooh, Alright. We're on a mission from Scud. Alex, perhaps... Oh, wait, we already got that. Okay. But I want to get this guy. Usually I leave sheds for the shrimp to eat, but I want to get that out of there just in case there's something going on, like that tissue is no good or something. So I don't know if that's good standard operating procedure or what, but still have a lot of babies chilling all over these tanks. Oh wait, is that the Stardust? No, it's a cheetah. Does she have eggs? What's she got going on here? These are just beautiful. I love these cheetah ones. This cheetah got a crazy pink stripe down its back, just randomly. It molted and then came back like that. And then these are the babies that we last time. Grant thinks so too. He thinks they're tangerine tiger cheetah mixes, because I've had tangerine tigers in here. And then we've got also some new babies that I didn't get to film last time, but they're very, very clear. But they've got striping on them, and I think these are the raccoon babies just getting older, but I'm not sure. We'll see. But yeah, this tank has got a lot of baby shrimp chilling in it. Probably too many. I don't know. In a 2.5 gallon, probably too many. But we'll see. Let me get this guy, and we're gonna feed the little Schismatogobius ammopluvulus. We're gonna get him some dinner right now. Okay. Where is he? He's usually waiting for dinner somewhere. Little Goby, where are you? I'm gonna kick up all the mulm in here. Hey, are you? No, you're not pregnant. Okay. Oh, there goes a scud, though. Let me trap that again. Where is he? Usually he works his way to the front when I am fiddling in the tank, because he knows that means he's getting fed. Goby, can you hear me? Alright. Well, someone else is going to get the scud, Mr. Goby. I don't know where you are. The problem with him is he can literally be, like, under the sand, like, right in front of my face, and I don't see him. But, again, as always, the Stiphodon, gobies from Aquatic Arts, they're all fat, full of eggs. They're going to spawn any day now again, and their babies never make it because it's not salt water. So that's a bummer, but it just happens over and over and over and over. And at least it keeps the males looking pretty. Also, these Ancestris are getting mighty big, considering they were just an inch long when or not even an inch long. They were like half an inch long. They were newborns when I put them in here. This Sultan Pleco, however, it's a what do they call it? An Alinquer Sultan Pleco. It has not grown in about 2 years. It's probably going on 3.5 years. It probably stopped growing about a year and a half old. It's still only 2.5, 3 inches long, which I'm not complaining about at all. It's kind of like a leopard frog pleco. It's a beautiful little pleco when it comes out. But yeah, and then we've got the Borneo little hill stream loach with the spots on him, or stripes rather. I don't actually remember if he's the spotted or striped version. He's got both. Hey, oh, hi guys. And then we've got Radnocentris ornatus rainbow fish. That's what that is there. There's the male right here. And then we've got thread fins in the same tank. And then we've also got Pseudomagil luminatus. And we've got a orange chin panchax, and I think it's a fundulo panchax, but I forget the exact variety and location name and all that stuff. But All right, let me pay attention. Let's pick a new tank. Oh, by the way, these guys need to go outside this weekend. These are all the gold and rosy barbs. There's some gold barbs that were born last year, and then the rosy barbs were also born last year out in the tank. And then the other day, um, these guys were spawning, which was nice. Yeah, they still are. Even though I put them in the other tank, one female is still super full of eggs and ready to go. And there's another one that's mildly already ready again, even though it's only been 2 or 3 weeks. But right now, the male pencil fish in here, there's a couple that are like so beautiful. Like this guy, wait till he moves under the light. He's like just glowing instead of orange or pink. He is just like blood red, this guy. And these are Beckford pencil fish. But he's definitely fighting off his little territory and wants to get the attention of the ladies. And then there's another set of males over here that are very dark red compared to if we look at the normal males, which let's just scare some into the open. The normal males or females are just very... Oh, we got another female that's got an okay amount of eggs. These ones just get huge with eggs when they're ready. Here goes a pair. So that she's not ready to spawn yet, but he wants her to be. Man, the camera is not focusing well in this tank. But yeah, he's full spawning color. When you see the Beckfords go that way, the male is like demanding spawning from the female. And you gotta watch out. Sometimes they even get a bit moody and actually start like ramming the females and stuff. Yeah, this guy, look at him. He's like spazzing out and like he's like chewing on his own lip too, in between chasing the other ones. Hold on, hold still. He's like twitching. He's so excited and full of testosterone. Any case. Also, I'll pick a tank and then get back to questions in a sec. This super algae filled tank, still all the Turkana jewel cichlids that I haven't sold yet. They're doing fine. But nobody really wants to buy a bunch of them, unfortunately. So I've got like 12 left of the like 50 or so. And then we've got the Una fasciatus and Equus pencilfish in here. Aquarium Co-op sold me a group of 6, and we got 3 of each species, all being sold as the one-line pencilfish. But these ones are the Equus, and then the Una fasciatus rather are back there. The 3 of them are back there. But let me get to any more questions. Alex, there should be a setting on your cell phone for super saturated color dig around. There is, but it doesn't let me do anything on the live stream. Like, I can take pictures that are great. Oh, wait, maybe... Let's see. Let's try... There is no, like, super saturated, but there are a few filters that, like, maybe one will be better, but none of them look... Yeah, none of them look good, honestly. Like, they're just washed out overlays. Oh, you'll take some to Fishtoberfest? Oh, wow. That's awesome. Except for then everyone's going to bid on them, and I won't get any, because I'm not made of money. Also, I wanted to try to show you guys these again. They're best in the middle of the night, but we've got the lovely Malawa shrimp, and I'm gonna start selling these guys in a few weeks here. After the heat wave thing is over in the middle of the country in Southwest, I'm gonna start selling. This tank, the glare I think is too bad. But these are normal colored Malawa. They're like a clear, and then they can kind of turn like some tan colors and some iridescent shimmers. They're very similar to a mono shrimp. Let's see if we can find one in the light. Like this one has a really interesting pattern. It has like a little swoosh pattern. This is what most of them look like, though, is this guy right here. Can we get it to focus? No. No focus for me, I guess. Well, let's try it on the blue colony. Ugh. So, boy, this might be too tall of an order for a live stream. The blues have a nice pale sky blue color to them. And I think, I'm pretty sure, because I've been claiming it for a while and no one's called me out on it. I think I'm the only person in the world working with Malawas to get color. And I've been working for years on this, like 5 or 6 now. But the blues, some of them are very blue. But the thing with Malawas is if their mood changes, all of a sudden their color can go totally clear, no matter what their color tones were before. But out of all of my blue colony here, it throws better reds than the ones I was separating for years as reds. But these blue ones here, they're like bluish purple a lot of times when they're... Man, why is that so bad? Is it just the amount of light? Let's try to get like a ton of light on it. Let's try this. I don't know that it is. I don't know what it is that's like not allowing the focus on shrimp. That is weird. But in any case, they throw these red and purple ones sometimes. And we got more Cori Venezuelana because I am addicted to these fish. So I just throw them in every tank that has anything remotely Amazonian in it with it. So they're just, spawning, doing their own thing. I don't work too hard at... I wonder if I come from this side. Like, can you guys see? At least you can see some of the color. Like the blue on this one right here is super blue. Man, that is so frustrating that I can't get any footage out of this tank. Look how it's like so washed out. Even big fish like right up against the glass compared to, say, I just wanted to show you guys this beautiful blue boy right here. He's a blob. That's what he is. He's a blob. But even compared to these tanks, I mean, they have even better footage of anything. And let's go back to this tank for a minute. Alright, let me pay attention to the questions, y'all. We'll park this camera. Whoa, a little too close for comfort, huh? There we go. We'll park it right here. Okay. Alex, what did you say people weren't buying? I don't know. Oh, yeah, you got to set up for your stream, Ken. All right, I'm going to be, hopefully I'm going to get off here before that. That's 7:30, right? Are the Malawas Caridina? Yes, they are, and they are about exactly the same size as Neocaridina, maybe a teeny bit smaller as adults, generally speaking, but they are the best algae eaters, right up there with Amanos, in the amount of algae they eat pound for pound, and they are also, I would say, the best at, I wonder if, let's try the tank that has some natural light on it right now and see if we can see. Oh, shoot, just kicked over Hold on. Beep, beep, beep. Wife won't kill me mode. Good thing for these carpets. Best investment ever in the fish room. But, oh, they're probably all gone. My Mahaensis betta, or Machiensis betta, Mr. Male, is parked out here, and I can see the remnant bubbles of a nest. And all the guppies moved to the other side. So, he may be... Oh, wait, there's some Malawas. There's a red Malawa from my red line. There we go. And there's also a clear one, a natural one. But this is as big as they'll get. These are very old ones in this tank. None of the babies really survive in this tank because of the bettas, and also there were elastomas in here for a long time. But let's move a few things, see if we can shake out some more. Yeah, here comes the blue one. The babies just don't last in here, but for size comparison, there's like a little Endler and one of these guys that's probably adult. Let me try to, now that we've got light for them, here comes the blue one. It is just not, it just does not want to focus on shrimp. I think there's just too many fine little parts for streaming, and it just pixelates them. That is so infuriating on this camera. I mean, I think there are ways to get around this, I'm sure. I've seen streams that are better. But, yeah, so these Malwas, not a lot of people have them. Sometimes Aquatic Arts will have them. But I've got the blue and the red line that only me and a few people in the Puget Sound have. And yeah, they're and then I've got the natural ones, which they're all just as hardy. Also, my Battis male, Alyssa, thank you. And the females, he has spun, which is interesting. I've never seen a Battis do this, but he's taken algae and he started twisting it around this main column of, like, there was a plant in there, and he's like connecting algae to make himself like a little palace. And so this is the male. Let's move the light right over him, even though this is a crappy shop light that is yellow as heck. So then the female, let's see if she's out. The female's somewhere in here. Oh, there she goes. Well, so here's the male. There's a true female Battis before it turns into a male, because they switch sex on you all the time, which is annoying. But he's guarding his little empire here, and he's not even that bright right now. Usually he's like blood red. He's usually a pretty colorful fish, but they're in a little 5-gallon with no, here, let me zoom out, sorry guys, with no filtration, just kind of a swamp style tank that's been running for years. There's too many snails in this one, but these are all gold ram's horn snails that have pink flesh and either gold or opal shells. And so I raise those as like a decorative, like here's the gold ones. And I'll also sell these or ship these coming up here when I do the shrimp. I just generally don't like shipping fish because of the losses or the potential for losses, and then just the potential for people being upset and sad or yeah, it doesn't work out in my favor generally, or the fishes in the long run. Like, hey, we got a Cully Loach that I did not know was still in this tank. And what are you doing, Mr. Cully Loach? Let's get rid of that glare. What is your life like, Mr. Cully Loach? Pretty big. Don't know for sure, but looks kind of like a female. If it swims in front of the light, I'd be able to see if it had eggs in that belly. Coolie loaches have two oviducts that run pretty long in them, so they kind of pack in the eggs a long distance, which is kind of cool. And then we've got this dude who still needs a name. Y'all need to help me name him. Oh wait, she's gonna swim into the light. You guys won't be able to tell, but I will. Nope, no eggs. Um, yeah, he still needs a name. He's such a derpy little fish. And the female is just so itty bitty teeny compared to the male. The male's yay big. The female's like this big and has like not much color at all. These little oddball Acara species and related Acara species, knockoff species, they're so pretty. I love them. Hold on. Uh-oh. What's going on up here? I think we've got a situation where, yep, I have a guppy that died. I'm gonna need to get it out. I think it didn't have enough air. I think the duckweed choked out the tank. Because I tested the nitrites, ammonia, all that recently. But those little filterless tanks up there, they've had a lot of... I think if you were watching the live the other day, I said, I'm worried that the cyano that's growing in one of them is an issue too. So it's either the cyano or the lack of oxygen exchange going on, unfortunately. I need to double check on the time because I definitely don't want to run past 7:30 and Kenny's time. Yeah, I'm probably gonna wrap it up soon here, folks. Let me get some more light on. Malawa, you got it, Bunny Viper. Malawa Q&A time, yeah. Alex, thanks. Alex, Venezuela is my purchase tomorrow. Right on. Yeah, this thing actually takes good pictures when it's not online. Like it's when I'm streaming that the resolution just turns to mud. And it doesn't really matter how many bars I have or like how good it says the reception is. It's always crap. All right, guys. So do we have any? Wait, can shrimp eat a dead fish before it even has time to decompose? Yeah, totally. Those Malawa shrimp will eat. They ate a gourami, a powder blue gourami the other day. Not the other day, like it was months ago. I don't know why I said the other day. But a while back, they ate an entire powder blue female gourami that was like 2 inches long. And they ate it in one day down to the spinal cord. Like that was all that was left was a little spinal cord. Not even the skull was left. And there were snails in on it too, some Malaysian trumpet snails, but yeah. Questions. I always have questions, too many to remember. Well, good for you. I mean, lucky for you. I tend to answer every question in the comments, as long as it's not like buried in some thread that's old or like 50 questions long. Boy, this camera, I need to get, what I'll need to do, especially until I get a new laptop that's like set up for streaming, because I need to do that also, and I mean, thank you so much to Brian who sent me his, one of his laptops that he was using for crypto stuff. So it has a good processor. It's got a Pentium 5, which is enough to edit HD at least. But yeah, it doesn't have like a good webcam or anything, so I need to either buy an external one and try to use that for a while, or just bite the bullet and buy a new computer. Fixing the old one does not seem in the cards after I took it to several Mac expert folks. I mean, they all had ideas of how to fix it, but once we opened it and worked on it, it was like, they were like, oh, I don't know what's going on here, but it definitely overheated and melted part of the board. It's like an 8-year-old Mac now, anyways. Red Laser says, and welcome, Red Laser. Son to Daniel, Axelrodi is in my local fish store. Do you find it easy to keep? Easy as long as you have low TDS. If you have hard water, it's not going to be easy. The pH is a little less of an issue, but if the TDS is over 200, they go downhill real quick. But if you have even the least bit of like almond leaves or tannins or wood in there, and it's like 7.4, 7.5 or under, they should be okay. But really, they thrive and they'll turn those bright colors, green, red, or blue, depending on the species you have. They'll do that in probably 6.5 pH is kind of ideal, and then they spawn in even lower. Whereas those other ones that we were looking at, they'll spawn in neutral water-ish. Whereas I've not gotten the Axelrodi to spawn in anything higher than 6, maybe like 5.5, 6, somewhere in there. So they're a little tricky to spawn, but they are not too hard to keep, unless you've got like 800 TDS out of the tap and you don't have any RO or anything. Keith, I have a whole video on breeding CPDs on the channel. So if you just go to the channel homepage and search like CPD colony breeding or CPD species spotlight, I think I've done it like 3 times in 5 years, like gone over the topic because it's asked about so frequently. So I've done how to breed them like how you would methodically, like a master fish breeder breeding for profit probably would, or like a fish farm would. And then I've also got the way that I like to breed them, which is using a tank or a colony. And then there's the kind of hybridized version, which is what I'll use if I'm trying to make money with them, which is when you basically move the parents in and out of, like they live in a community tank. Then you split them up, male and female. So you just put the males in like a 2.5 gallon holding tank that's planted and full of like little organisms like infusoria, seed shrimp, snails, shrimp, whatever you want living in there, but so that it's got lots of plants and stuff. And then put the females, after you've been feeding the males and females, now that they're separated for 2 weeks, you feed them high protein food like baby brine shrimp that's newly hatched, or Daphnia, or yeah. And then you also want to make sure that there's either like vinegar eels, white worms, or Walther worms, whatever you want to call them, Grindel worms, that are living in the water so that the babies have food. The parents won't necessarily eat a ton of vinegar eels or Paramecium infusoria, but that is their cue. And CPDs are easy to breed, relatively speaking, for nanofish. But that is their cue, is once there's food for the babies and they're in good health, that's when they'll spawn. So even if they're not eating the little infusoria, it's good to look up how to make infusoria if you don't know, and add a little bit of green water or infusoria for them, and that'll usually kick it off pretty good. Yes, I am right now trying to selectively breed a new Medaka. Actually, yeah. Awesome. John Monroe says the people from Shrimp Envy in Springfield will be speaking at Guppus, the Greater Portland Area Aquarium Society is in Portland. I'm assuming at the Moose Lodge at noon this Sunday, the 12th. Right on. Right on, right on, right on. All right, well, I'm gonna get out of here soon. What kind of fish did Alex say that there was a greater algae was a greater? Oh, the best algae eater in my mind of the fish world is the reticulated Siamese algae eater, or the Siamese algae eater called the reticulatus, its Latin name. It has a diamond on its back tail and no line down the body. There's one that has a line down the body and a diamond. There's one that has no lines, and then there's the flying fox that's Chinese algae eater. And then there's also one that has just the line with no diamond. You want just the diamond, just a diamond, just diamond quality, no other markings. Black diamond on the tail. Steve Hunter, thank you so much for the super chat, super sticker out of Canada. Thank you very much. And Malawa shrimp, yes, are a really good algae eater. I like them more than Amanos because you can spawn them in captivity. You can breed them in captivity. They do well. They do well in anywhere from 6 to 8 pH, so big, broad range. They're not like sensitive or fidgety. I mean, they're really hardy, and they will make a lot of babies. So they're good source of like fry food or even adult fish food. I constantly am putting them in new tanks. I'll take the like 2 or 3 pregnant females and put them in with nano fish, and then the babies will eat their babies. They have 20 to 40 babies at a time usually, but they grow pretty quickly. Like 3 to 5 months, they'll be reproducing depending on the temperature and stuff. Which also they have a big range. Um, um, how to tell the algae eaters apart? Just a diamond. You want a diamond, no lines or anything, just the diamond on the tail. They will eat staghorn, they'll eat blackbeard, and they will eat even diatom. This guy right here, he's got an orange eye or a golden eye and a diamond circle kind of marking on his tail. That's the one you want. All of the other ones have lines down the side, 1 or 2. But the most common in the hobby you'll see is there's a one line, then there's a one line with a diamond, and then there's one that has no markings. That's the Siamese, one of the Chinese algae eaters that are just super mean. Now these guys will get like 6 to 8 inches long, full grown, in about 2 to 3 years. But when they are an inch to 2 inches long, they will eat their weight in algae a day if they can. I've literally had them eat, I've had a tank that was just totally infested. They will sometimes rip leaves because they're a little impatient. So sometimes they'll nibble and actually rip a leaf while they're doing it. But they're not as bad as like plecos. Like plecos are terrible at eating algae off leaves without ripping it. That and obviously, if you're trying to have them eat your algae, don't go feeding a ton of other stuff in the tank that that they'd love to eat because they're gonna eat fish food instead. It tastes way better. It's like asking kids, "You want to eat ice cream tonight or like granola?" And they're gonna be like, "Ice cream." Where can I get Malawa shrimp? Maybe from Aquatic Arts. That's the only place I've really seen selling them, and they're hit or miss even then. Don't buy them from Arizona Gardens, though. One, they have a line that's not even Malawa shrimp. Two, they're just selling Neocaridina culls for a while and saying they're Malawa. I don't know if they knew it or not, but I told them about it, and then people kept telling me it was happening, and they were charging like 12 to 15 bucks a shrimp for them for a while. But I will be selling Malawa because a lot of people have been asking, and I just want to get them out and around the US since they're not very common anymore in the hobby. They were when Takashi Amano was popular guy, when he was still alive, like 2010-ish probably. And that's when they were brought over to San Francisco at Ocean Aquarium, and then they spread them a little bit in the West Coast, and then it spread from there. But then they kind of just lost favor of them as it started becoming way easier to keep all the other all the other shrimp that are so colorful, like the Neocaridina, and all the Caridina became easier to keep too. But for a native one, yeah. DJ, well, thank you. Right back at you. Let's see here. Yeah, so anyways, I'll do an episode. Or not an episode, but I'll do a live stream where I'll say like taking orders from all of a shrimp, and I'll probably like let go of maybe 150 of them or so. And then maybe at the end of like spring or at the end of summer, I might be able to let a few more go. But for now, that's going to be what I'm going to let go this year probably. And I haven't figured out a price yet, but they'll probably be like $5 or $6 a shrimp and guaranteed alive arrival kind of thing. So yeah, I think that's how I'm gonna do it, just because they're not in the hobby, and I think like 12 to $15 is crazy. Like the places when they do have them, which is rarely, usually charge like some high amount. But these ones are really well adjusted to a lot of different environments because they've been in a lot of my tanks and I move them around a lot. So yeah. Um, and yeah, they seem to actually clean like quarry eggs and stuff for me. Now, I have heard people say that Neocaridina will eat fish eggs. For me, they've not done that in any number, at least. Like they've always cleaned, if anything, or ignored the fish eggs. But the Malua seem even less likely to do that. Like they are my favorite shrimp by far. I don't know why they're not more popular in the hobby. So you can message me or leave a comment if you're interested in getting some Malua shrimp too. I can start sorting that out. After I speak down in Eugene is probably when I'll ship them out once I'm back home, able to look at the weather for each place I'm shipping them to. But I'll probably let a group, it would probably be like something like 4 for 20 or, like a deal like that or something like that. Like, and up will be that same price. I think. I don't know for sure, but I want to make it affordable at least. So we'll think of something fair. But yeah, so I'm gonna log off because I want to leave Kenny and the guys some room, and I need to talk to Renee about our coloring book project. But I am so glad that y'all have joined me for the evening and for this time, and thanks for doing so. I will be back again. Hopefully, we'll sort out this focus issue with the camera, like buy a new one, try a new phone. My wife has an iPhone, so I might really try that next time too to see if she got the new one for work, a brand new one. So we'll try that. But yeah. All right, guys. Well, and Sketty Nona, good to see you. I appreciate the kind words. So thank you, everybody. Thank you so much, members. Thank you so much, super chatters, viewers, lurkers. Those of you who are watching the replay or made it to the end, you are the hardcore ones. And I just appreciate this community so very much. You guys mean a lot to me. So have a wonderful night, and I'll be around. And then I'll be back on Monday at 7:30 p.m. West Coast, 10:30 p.m. East Coast. We're doing the later stream on Mondays now. Switched from that, so then I'll be after Bob Steenfot. So, yeah. All right, guys. Well, have a good one. Take care, and talk to you later. Bye. Oh, last thing. If you're still here and you're going over to Kenny's stream, which I don't know if Kenny's hosting it or if Ed and Fish Room Fever or Chattanooga Ed's channels have it, or if it's Danikin Aquatics. But hashtag Malua if you're going over there to say hi. And I'll probably hop over there too. I think it's either on Kenny's or Fish Room Fever's channel, I think. So or Danikin Aquatics or Fish Room Fever, I think. So yeah. But all right, guys, I'm getting out of here for real this time. Again, thanks for everything, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye.